Hello, and welcome to Purpose of Heart, the podcast. I'm your host, Priscilla Allman, and today we're going to talk about the ones who seemingly have it all together, the one others depend on. You're the encourager, the caretaker of your family, the one who's constantly praying for other people, even when your own heart feels heavy. But what happens when the strong one gets tired too? If that's you, friend, I want you to lean in. This is your reminder that God doesn't just see your strength, He sees all aspects of you, including your strength. And He wants to remind you that He is the provider of rest. One of our theme verses for today is Galatians 6:9. And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart. Sometimes strength looks like smiling when you'd rather cry. It looks like showing up when no one checks on you, or saying I'm fine when deep down you're really not. Being strong doesn't mean being unbreakable. It means you've learned to lean not just on your own power, but on the one who truly sustains us. Psalm 73:26 says, "My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." This verse is such a beautiful reminder that strength is not just about what we carry, but about who carries us. Maybe you've worn your strength like armor, always composed, always capable. But can I tell you something? Even that has its limits. And God, He never asked you to be everyone's hero. He asked you to be His child. In John 4, scripture says that He sat by the well, wearied by His journey. That moment comforts me so much because it shows that Jesus rested, and that is such a wonderful reminder that we have permission to do so too. Because rest isn't weakness, it's alignment. When we rest, we acknowledge that the world isn't revolving by our own strength, even though sometimes we're apt to think that it is. It keeps turning because God is faithful. Isaiah 40:29-31, He gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, He increases strength. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. Renew means to exchange, to give your weariness for His strength. That's what happens when we pause long enough to be still before Him. We just have to receive it. You know, friend, maybe you've gone around being the dependable one, the one who holds everyone else together. But even encouragers need encouragement. So hear this today. you have permission to pause. You have permission to breathe. And you have permission to let go of what's not yours to carry. You know, oftentimes, we hear this popular saying that you can't pour from an empty cup. And so often nowadays, it seems as though we have to keep producing more, keep going, keep doing all of the things. But we see a beautiful example in Luke 5:16 that says, "So he himself often withdrew into the wilderness and prayed." Jesus stepped away into solitude to commune with his Father. And I think that a lot of times it's easy to not take that time away, to not remember to pause, to go in solitude, and to really rest, be encouraged to withdraw, to pray. Right? We're told to abide, and that takes some sort of like forethought and intention. And I think that it's really important that we just look at the example that Jesus gave us to withdraw and to pray. Maybe nowadays that looks like even turning off our phones for a little bit. Maybe it's being intentional about the types of music that we listen to, listening to worship music on our drive in, sort of giving us a frame of mind for the day. We're simply sitting in silence, taking a moment to just talk to God and pray. That's sort of, where we begin, not in all of the hustle, but in the hush. Matthew 11:28, "Come unto me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." That's not a polite invitation. It's a divine command of love to say, I have what you need. We can come to him with all of our burdens, with all of the things that we worked on, and in exchange, we get rest. Right? The famous Psalm 23 that talks about how he is our shepherd and we have nothing to want, right? How he leads us beside the still waters, how he restores. And although I feel like a lot of these things we talk about or teach, especially children, sometimes I think we forget that with him is everything that we need. He is our all sufficiency, and he gives us the rest that we need, the solitude to keep going. Let's talk about some practical ways that we can work this into our lives. I think one of the ways that we can start to do this is to start with intention, right? Before all the emails, all of the running around, all of the things, start with a heart posture and an attitude of prayer, and just have, showing surrender and dependence on him and shifting our posture, knowing that not only is he the one who woke us up in the morning, but is the one who's going to be able to sustain us throughout the day. Building in small pauses throughout the day, whether that is stepping outside for a few moments to breathe, reading a verse, reminding, ourselves, our humanity, Those are simple things that we can do as well. Also, asking for help. We don't have to do it all alone. God sends help through his people as well, and we can allow ourselves to be helped. Speaking life over ourselves, right? Death and life are in the power of the tongue. No, I said that right. And when we feel drained, sometimes it can just be easy to speak negatively, but not just speaking affirmations over ourselves, because those are nice, but also speaking scripture. And also rest, actually taking rest, and acknowledging that he's in control and not us. So remember, friend, all of grace and rest is not just for when we fall or are tired, but it's for when we stand too long without sitting at his feet. To every strong one listening, I see you. But most importantly, God sees you. And he promises that if we don't grow weary while we're well doing, we will reap if we do not lose heart. And he promises that he'll give us rest. And so our due season is coming. Don't give up, just rest. So if this episode spoke to you, share it with another strong one who might be running on empty. Remember, your strength, it doesn't come by how much you do, but from the one who's holding you together. Until next time, keep living with purpose of heart and keep resting in his grace. Bye for now.